Mr. Cohen.
Prosecutors in New York say Donald Trump's former right-hand man deserves to go to prison for a substantial amount of time. Michael Cohen pleaded guilty to various financial crimes, tax evasion and lying to banks. But it's Cohen's admission that he made illegal campaign contributions by paying off two women who said they had affairs with Donald Trump that has the greatest consequences for the president. The memo says, as Cohen himself has now admitted with respect to both payments, he acted in coordination with and at the direction of individual one, referring to Donald Trump. In other words, the president committed a crime. The New York prosecutors acknowledge Cohen is cooperating with Special Counsel Robert Mueller, and for that they say he should receive a modest reduction in sentence. In a separate sentencing memo, Special Counsel prosecutors described that cooperation as relevant and truthful. Cohen provided the SCO with useful information concerning certain discrete Russia-related matters core to its investigation, and gave prosecutors useful information concerning White House contacts as recently as this year.
There's clearly information that was provided to the Special Counsel's office that's significant, and has caused the Special Counsel's office to have a somewhat softer and kinder view of Michael Cohen, because they believe they've gotten useful information, maybe not be the smoking gun that some people suspected, but useful information.
Then there's the case of Paul Manafort. The special counsel outlined why the plea agreement with Trump's former campaign manager fell apart. Prosecutors say Manafort lied to them a lot. About precisely what, we don't know, as much of the statement is redacted. Though prosecutors do say Manafort was in touch with people in the White House and lied about it. In a statement tonight, the White House spokesperson said the Manafort case has nothing to do with the president, and the Cohen filings say nothing that wasn't already known. Lindsay Duncombe, CBC News, Washington.
So will this affect President Trump, and if so, how much? Let's read a little deeper into today's developments with Keith Bogue. So Keith, what stands out for you in these three documents?
Well, Andrew, in the first one about the campaign finance violations, you have the Southern District of New York saying the President of the United States committed a crime. That's a big deal. The other documents bring the Russia investigation closer to Trump and to the White House. Robert Mueller says Cohen provided information that was core to the investigation and separate from what we already knew about the proposed Trump Tower deal in Moscow. And Mueller says Cohen gathered that information not from his own contacts with Russians, but from Trump executives. That could include Donald Trump. Plus, Cohen apparently provided useful information through his connections to the White House as recently as this year. And finally, the third document about Paul Manafort. It says that Manafort lied about contacts he had with the administration this year, and that's after he was charged with crimes. And that raises a lot of questions, including whether Manafort was seeking a pardon, and why would anyone in the administration talk to him?
And Keith, has Trump himself said anything about all of this?
Well, it looks like he has. He tweeted, "Totally clears the president, thank you." That's all. Now, if he's talking about the court filings, that's obviously untrue. He hasn't been charged with a crime, but he has been identified by prosecutors in New York as having committed one. And at this point, he also has to worry what the Democrats, who are about to take control of House investigations into him, might think about all of this.
Okay. Keith Bogue, thanks very much.
Thank you.
And the president dropped some news of his own today with two major job announcements, including his pick for Attorney General, something that could have huge implications for Robert Mueller.
A terrific man, a terrific person, a brilliant man.
William Barr is a lifelong conservative who has been AG before. That was from 1991 to 1993 under George Bush Sr. Now, he says he respects Robert Mueller, but he's also expressed concern that some members of his team identify too strongly as Democrats. He also supported Trump's decision to fire James Comey and has said there's more reason to investigate Hillary Clinton than the president. And here was Trump's other big job shuffle today, involving a relative political newcomer, Heather Nauert.
She's very talented, very smart, very quick, and I think she's going to be respected by all.
She'd never worked in government before being hired as a spokesperson for the State Department. That was about a year and a half ago, following a long career as a journalist, notably for some time at Fox News. Now she's being tapped to replace Nikki Haley as the U.S.'s ambassador to the UN. That's a big jump. both nominations will have to go through the Senate, likely not before next year.